every player does it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like because you being clever is part of that. And if you have a clever point, you're like, I just bundle up this clever that I just came up with, and I need to make sure I can safely deliver it to the end zone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I need to deliver you to the end zone, and I can't if like you might obfuscate your own point. You might obfuscate your own plan by creating extra unnecessary steps.
Mm.
Like if I want to do this, how granular do I need to be? And you're guessing at that, but you can tell me, and sometimes I'll be like, look, whatever, dude, you could just do that.
Mm.
I, we
But you
had.
might not know that and set yourself up
Mm-hmm.
for a few rolls trying to be, a little more cautious about it.
I 100% agree on the player's side, but I had this argument because I have a mechanic that my players never tried to figure out. They just started yelling at me last session about how I didn't tell them exactly how it worked. And I was like, I would like you to try something to see if you can figure it out because this is something new to all of you characters. Nobody asked how it would work. You only asked me how many checks you would have to make last
Yeah.
session. That's not the same. And they're like, well, you didn't tell us, so we don't know what checks to make. And I'm like, you didn't ask what checks. You just said how many.
Yeah. There comes a point, I think, when it comes to information flow too,
Thank you.
where and it kind of deals with the point,
Dex.
I guess, in general. If a player asks me how something works, and it's crucial to them solving everything in the room, well, I'm not there to gatekeep them from entry or play. It kind of, I think it depends on like what it is. Like, is this mechanic that they aren't using game breaking, or is it just something that like if they just put two and two together, they'd realize it's four, not fish kind of deal?
Mm.
I'm asking you.
Oh, in this case, like, I understand. We had a similar argument about how I had. Well, they don't know his name yet. I don't. Okay, DT, I know you're in the chat. I don't think you care. I've technically already given you his name. It's just I don't think you guys realized it was the same dude. But like, you guys are fighting an avatar of Cryonax right now, the Lord of the Frostfell. And when he spawned in, I basically gave him the personality of Hades from Hercules, the Disney version, where he's very pissed off because he's made a whole bunch of ice elementals. He gave them one job, and none of them can do it. You give all these creatures life, you tell them to do one thing for you after you spawn them, and all of them are too stupid to get it done. And he came in so angry that he pushed out an icy, like, frightened field, a frost aura that nailed people's feet to the floor. He was just so angry. And my players are like, you need to tell us exactly what this field does to us. And I was like, it's not your turn yet. When it comes to your turn, I would expect you to try to move, and then I can tell you what it's done to you. They're like, well, that's not a condition in the book. And I'm like, but it's not a condition in the book. This is his thing that
Oh
I
my
just gave
god.
him.
I watched a video about this. I watched a video about this. I watched a video about this.
I
I
just
watched
want
a
them
video
to
about this.
try one thing first. And they're like, no, tell us everything.
It's not your fault.
I know, but it still upsets me.
It's the game's fault. Here, I'm going to tell you because the culture of 5e has become what you just described, where everyone gets the book, everyone gets the mechanic, and the mechanic, they get the mechanics, and everyone, and because the game has the rules laid out in a way where like there's no refereeing needing. Like they even believe that they can just have like an AI or a computer administer the game, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
so they wrote a game that is supposed to be played that way, right? When you sit down at the table, if you didn't tell your players that you're going to be taking super
What?
liberties
Thank
about
you.
things and running things your own way, they are going to fucking check you on it. Like, you're there to run the game to their satisfaction.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that's the culture of the game. And when I said it's like the game's fault, like I'm not saying like fucking 5e blah blah blah. I'm saying like literally the culture of like 5e's culture and how people talk about the game and how people give advice and how people watch other people play it and learn from them and Reddit posts and TikToks and everything is that kind of shit. It's like,
Mm.
how do I maximize my character via this way? Well, imagine your fucking GM stepped in the way of how you did something like that. Like, they aren't creating
Mm.
a game in which the GM referees things as they come up on the fly. They're creating a game that has all the rules for everything you need covered. And you just have to administer the rules the way the players know them to be. That's your job
Mm.
versus sort of like the older game was it certainly had a lot of rules, but it was more open-ended procedure for certain things, and then the rest of the game was like completely fucking open. You have to come up with that shit on the fly, right?
Mhm, mhm,
Um,
mhm.
and then there's even the rules light games, which are specifically like we're going to give you HP, AC, checks, and combat, and you guys play the rest of the game however much you want. You get in a boat, you got to figure that out. You got to, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but 5e has shooting into water, you know, and I'm saying that OSE and Dolmenwood has that shit too. But, you know, the culture of 5e is that the GM is just the computer brain of the game that administers like combat and tells you if you succeed.
That hurts my heart, but it's
Yeah,
true.
I watched a video about this.
100% true. Oh man.
Yeah.
That it's just it's not any one GM's fault. It's a mix, you know,
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
a mix of the game, the culture around the game, um, and then like players' expectations because what they see from the game. And even though like we just talked about that they expect the game as they hold in their hands, they have their player handbook. Now fucking run this game that I'm
Mhm.
holding.
Mm.
But at the same time, they talk about how cool Dimension 20 is, right? And fucking
Mhm.
Fantasy High. And he does not
Mhm.
run stock fucking 5e, right? He just runs Fantasy High. And that is why the pitch is the most important part of running a D&D game. And I will fucking
Yes.
scream this from the mountaintops every chance I get
This
that
is
if
a
you
hill that I've watched over the years of,
I
mind you,
slay myself on this hill every
yeah,
time.
yeah, no, you literally spear yourself on the hill on this
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. This is my hill. And I am staking myself on it right now that if you ask someone, do you want to play D&D? That is absolutely fucking worthless. It's not only worthless, it's harmful. You just fucked up their expectations of your game in almost irrevocably destructive ways. You should not say that shit at all. You should say exactly what you're doing unless you want to run fucking vanilla by the book D&D of the most recent edition using everything.
And
Mm.
by the book, like to the letter.
Yes, by
No,
the book. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you don't say to them, "Do you want to play, you know, D&D but it's on a you know, dinosaur island and you guys start like low level and we're not using 5e." Right? Like all of a sudden your expectations are melting away and you sort of don't know what you're playing, right? And you might
Mm.
not even want to say yes to it, but at least it's fucking the truth.
Yeah.
You know, like I have to work on that pitch a little bit. I just came up with it in a second. I'm sure I can come up with a better one, but at least I'm not leading you astray and
Yeah.
I'm leading my flock astray and setting everyone up for like badness.